Hello everybody, Ken here, welcome back to Magic Duels. Gonna crack on with the final part of Kithian Yora's quest, our white hero of the white colour of magic, of order and justice. And he's been ordered by the gods, the white gods, to go after this titan. The ground shudders and the putrid smell of rot fills your nostrils. The shadow of Erebos's titan falls across you and your irregulars. That's his little army of chaps. You raise your spear and it radiates the light of the sun. The titan bellows ferociously. You charge forward anyway. Go for it, Kithian. Give him the beans. Right, okay. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Got a nice plains and a vanguard. It's a fairly standard curve. We've got this supply line cranes that lets us put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. We've got this double strike. That'd be a great one to put our +1/+1 counter on. We've only got 2 land, so hopefully we'll draw another one. There we go, look at that. Great. Pop one down. We'll play our 2-drop. And we'll attack. Attack with all. Or just this vanguard. This guy's still got summoning sickness, but that's fine. Banish a priest. Oh, that's nice. So when we play this, we can exile an opponent's creature. Quite fancy. These guys are dark. Oh, hello. Reveals, so they're going to reveal our hand and they exile a card. Okay. I wonder if he'll take the land, or if he'll. Oh, he said non-land, didn't it? So he'll probably take this one, so we can't play it. Yeah, that's a pain. So we can't play this card now until we get rid of this brain maggot. Oh well. Oh, we can play Honor of the Pure. There's no real harm to doing that. It's an enchantment, so it will go over here out the way. And then we can attack with our 4-2 and 3-2. See, look at this. Now this guy can't deal with either of our chaps, which is probably wouldn't want to anyway, because he's. As soon as this thing dies, I think we get our card back. So look at that though. We've already got down to 11 health. That's fantastic. Can't block this 1/1, but that's fine. You gonna play anything at the end of his turn? Enchanted creature gets -1/-1 for each. Oh no, so he can kill one of our creatures. This will be -1/-1, but of course. So who's he gonna play? Let's see who he plays it on first. Plays on this guy. So this guy's gonna get -3/-3. He was a 4/2. So he becomes I guess a 1/-1. But as soon as you have 0 toughness. You're dead. And in fact, that's an interesting effect, because some creatures are indestructible, which means they can take any amount of damage. So if this guy was indestructible, he could take 2 damage or 3 damage and he wouldn't die, even though he'd taken lethal damage, because he's indestructible. However, if you gave him -2 toughness, like an effect like that gives minus toughness, then he would die, because he'd have 0 toughness, and that makes him an illegal card to be on the board. But just a interesting nuance of magic, I guess. Unfortunately, we can't play either of these. They both cost 5, so until we can draw another land, we're a bit out of luck. But that's fine. We're really pressuring the damage, so that's good. I'm almost tempted. We could hold this guy back to block, but we're doing so much damage. Whenever Grim Guardian or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So this is an enchantment creature, which is interesting. So it's an enchantment, but it's also a creature, so you can attack it. But if you had a card that said destroy target enchantment, it could target this enchantment, or it could target this guy, even though it's also a creature. So you will see, and like we saw in a previous episode, we saw an artifact creature, which counts as both a creature and an artifact, obviously. Okay, so we got our 4-2 guy here, because he's going to get buffed. So he can stay back and he can block. And we'll... in fact, we could push in here, but this guy's a 1-4. And if he blocks, then we'll do 3 damage. Nothing happened. This guy doesn't die. This guy does 1, so we don't die. So it's just an even trade. So it's actually not worth us attacking, because our guy will be tapped and unable to react next turn. So we'll skip our attack, because he'll be able to block and this guy will be unusable. Whereas now we can use him to block should the maggot attack. Or another Grim Guardian. So this guy's also an enchantment, so we're going to lose 1 life, I guess. And in fact we'll lose 2, because we'll lose 1 for this guy coming in as well. So we should lose 1 there, and then another 1 for... There we go. It's a nice bit of synergy. Don't think it's that strong, but it's okay. Now we could buff this guy up to 4-2. But we've also got a flying creature, which might be a better thing to have, because... should we... because if we can buff this guy up to a 4-4 flying, he won't be able to react. So we'll skip attack. We could attack with this guy. If he double blocks us with these, we trade this one guy for 1 of his, because we could do 4 damage to this and then not the other one, but we take 2 damage from the 2 creatures. And do I want to trade 1 of these for 1 of those? No, not really. I think it's better to keep him back, because he can block 1 of these and kill it without dying. So it discourages this guy from attacking. Note that your creatures don't tap when they block. A good thing to remember. Okay, Eagle of the Watch, flying and vigilance. And in fact, I want to buff up our guy, because if he doesn't have a counter here, we might just win. Okay, we're going to choose this creature to get our +1/+1 counter. Boop. And then we're going to attack with him. Let's check these guys don't have reach. No reach. In fact, no, they'd have the little blue arrow, bow and arrow symbol, wouldn't they? So let's attack with this guy. Hopefully he doesn't have a counter. Oh no! Oh, he's got -4/-4. Oh, that's upsetting. Well, there you go. It was worth a try. This guy's also got flying though, so he can attack next time as well. Oh. Okay, so he's just attacking with a 1/4. Now he can just block this. He might have a solution, but we'll block it. It's possible he'll play a spell. Creatures your opponents, there we go, see, so this guy, so he's got all these enchantment creatures, so this one, we're going to get -1/-1, which will kill our chap here, unfortunately, but also, because he's an enchantment, we'll also lose 1 life, so I kind of see how this deck's synergy works. This guy's a 4/6, that's real beefy. We haven't had a lot of particularly exciting creatures in this deck, to be honest, so let's plug on. We play planes. We might as well. I don't think it's that worth trying to buff the trying to bluff the opposing guy. I don't know if it's an AI. Obviously, like, I'm sure they don't exactly play it as though they don't know what's going on, but we're gonna push through with our 3/5. It's do it. He's only got 1 mana untapped. It's unlikely he's going to be able to respond. Confirm attack. I really want to try and just push through. So we've got 2 flyers next turn. Now we've got potentially lethal next turn. Target creature gains Intimidate. Okay, Intimidate's a fun effect. So you see, it says here, creature with Intimidate can't be blocked by except by artifact creatures or creatures that share a colour. So he's going to put it on this, probably one of these guys, maybe this guy, or put it on this guy. Okay, so we can't block this guy unless you can only block this guy with black creatures because he's black, or with artifact creatures which are colourless ones. Okay, right, well we get -1/-1 for these coming in. So if we trade, these guys will die, but we can trade into this guy and get we will lose our thing, but we'll get our fun card back. I think that's probably worthwhile. We take a hefty chunk of damage, but we could have lethal here, so we can exile this blocker just to be sure. I think that's probably wise, because it's going to be harder for them to do any fancy tricks. So we're going to exile this creature. So kind of the same effect as that worm. You see, it goes under the card, and this is exiled, so it doesn't exist on the board. It's not considered in play. It's this card underneath is non-existent. But as soon as our Banisher Priest leaves play, he'll get that back in his hand. So hopefully they won't have an answer here. He's only got 1 mana. There we go. Erebos' Titan vanquished. Well done, Kithian. Getting our cash money. Brilliant. Here's our cutscene. Very quiet. Apparently they didn't balance the audio on this. I am the Titan of the Whip. There you go. Look, he's gonna take that, Titan. I'll chuck a spear at you. It's not very big. Oh no, he caught it. Oh, he swung it back at you. But it's okay, because I've got this sweet armor. Haha! What do you think of that? Oh no! Oh! I killed all my friends. Didn't bank on that one, did you? All his irregulars are dead. Oh, and in his moment of tragedy, looks like he's ignited his Planeswalker spark. And he's travelled to a mysterious land with, there's a lion. And some chap in a helmet. Who are you, sir? Where did you come from? Look at this. He's traversed the plains, and here's an angel. Hello, Gideon. There you go, look at that. Boom. Ordeal of Heliod. We got 3 Magic Origins boosters for completing the story. Fantastic. Grief-stricken over the death of your comrades, your Planeswalker spark ignites, sending you to Bant, which is a name I'd forgotten about, but it's Bant is what, obviously, as you can expect, one of the plains. It's this lovely, beautiful, lush landscape here. Bant is a fantastic name for a plane. So, sending you to Bant, you discover a realm of chivalry, and you're inspired to walk the path to knighthood. You take the name Gideon Ura, and you seek redemption. Look at this, he's got a lovely little handheld shield. This glorious armour. These sick, sort of curved sideburns, they're really quite something. I've never seen it. It's kind of like mutton chops, but they go up like the side. They almost go into a moustache. It's an interesting one, but they kind of they go up towards a moustache, but they don't go in the range you would expect a moustache to be. It's like almost like an inverse goatee. This facial hair he's got going on. He's shaved off where the goatee would be. Great. Well, we've learned about the basics of magic, and we helped a Planeswalker's spark ignite. It's time to take the next step, building a deck of your own. A special prize awaits for you in the store. Well, let's go to the store, I guess. Boom! Starter box. Free. Help you get started, here is your starter box. You can use these cards to create a wide variety of decks and explore a number of different playstyles. Great. Well, I would kind of hope, I guess, that that's the way things would go. You'd like to think that I imagine they'll just give you infinite lands. I hope that's the way it works. And I hope also that cards kind of, you can use the same card in multiple decks. I've played other games where it says, oh, your card's in this deck, so you can't use it anywhere else. Okay, well, we opened a booster. Now we get 6 cards. Now obviously in Hearthstone you get 5 and you get 1 guaranteed rare or higher. Now the way Magic works in the physical card game is I think you get 15 cards. You get 10 commons, you get 4 uncommons, which are these silver ones. You see commons are black, uncommons are silver, and then you get 1 rare or better, which is rare is the gold, and there's mythic rare, which is like a reddish colour, like a shiny red. Now, and the shape of the symbol is the set it's in, so that's how you can tell. This like little hat thing is well, it's not really a hat. This kind of, it's almost like half a bear trap. That's the name of the set, the Magic Duels Origins set specifically. Shows us here. So the way it works here is you get 3 commons, 2 uncommons, and 1 rare or better. Now it's worth noting also there's a chance in a standard Magic booster to get a single foil card, which can be of any rarity. And I've had rare foils come, and then you get a rare from the standard 15 cards, and you get the rare foil in that case. But I don't think they give you foils here. I think you can just upgrade your cards to foil, and you can spend your gold on that. So you get 3 commons, 2 uncommon, and a rare or mythic rare, I guess. But one of the nice things is apparently, I haven't confirmed this, but apparently from watching other videos, you won't get cards that you've already collected 4 of. So we only have 1 of each of these. We only have 1 Challenger's Ignition. We only have 1 Subterranean Scout. But once we've collected 4 of these in boosters, once we've got our 4 Subterranean Scouts, we won't have any more. Like, they won't appear anymore in our booster packs, which is quite a good way of doing it. Means you don't end up with lots of duplicates. So this is okay. This is when you play a land, you put a 2/2 green elemental creature token, so that's quite fun. Green likes to play a lot of land, has effects that let you put more land into play. Here's an artifact, here's an equipment. So okay, so you play this for 2 mana, and then you pay 1 mana to equip it, and it kind of attaches to a creature, kind of like an enchantment. But when the creature dies, or at any time, you can then pay 1 mana to re-equip it to a different creature. So you can just swap it over to someone else, or if your creature dies, this equipment stays on the battlefield like a dropped sword, and someone else can pick it up. But it does cost 1 mana to do so. And we got our rare is Chandra's Ignition. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. That's quite powerful. So you kind of, if you've got it doesn't even get rid of the creature. So you kind of, say you've got a nice 6 mana creature, or let's say we had that opponent had the 4/6. So you hit the thing with that, it does 4 damage to every creature, presumably including your own. It does 4 damage to everything else, including your opponent's life total. In the moment before her execution, she realised what it meant to be a pyromancer, to be alive, to be Chandra. Okay, well that's quite a fun card. Right, let's go on to the next booster. It's quite nice as well. Draw a card whenever it damages a player. Right. I love the way this unwraps. Ooh, Elvish Visionary, that's a nice sensible card, you know. 2 mana, 1/1, draw a card. Can't go too far wrong with that. Harbinger of the Tides. 2/2 for 2 mana. This has got a flash effect. So if you pay 4 mana for it, 2 blue and 2 colorless, you can cast it at any time. So say your opponent's attacking, say your opponent attacks you with a 1/1, you can bop this thing out and block with it. And in fact, it's got this other effect. So if they attack with 2 creatures, once they've declared attackers, you can play this guy, return one of the creatures to their hand because it will be tapped from attacking, and then it won't deal the combat damage, and then you can use Harbinger of the Tides to block the other one. So that's quite a potent little surprise for the opponent. They got a nice non-basic land. It gives you 1 colourless mana, or you can pay 5 and sacrifice it to play 2 1/1 creatures. So kind of in the late game, where maybe you've got too much land, you can turn this into some creatures, and they're only 1/1s, but they've got flying. So that any creature with flying, sometimes depending on how people have built a deck and what kind of the meta is like, sometimes a deck won't have an answer to flying, and if you have even a weak flying creature, that can just win you the game sometimes. When a creature opponent dies, this guy gets a +1/+1, so he's quite weak, but he's a 1/1 for 2 mana. But if you kill a lot of opponent's creatures, he's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This one here's a nice counter spell. You can counter a spell unless its controller pays 3 mana. So there used to be, in fact I think there are still cards that are kind of 3 mana to counter a spell. But there used to be counter spell, which was 2 mana to counter any spell, and it was kind of overpowered. Kind of blue players always had this reputation of whenever we used to play multiplayer, that you'd sort of say to the blue player, anytime a player did something, you look at the blue player. We had a couple of notorious blue players. You look at them and say, "Am I allowed to do this thing?" And they'd kind of peek at their hand and peek at the board and, "Yeah, alright, you can play that. I'll allow you to play that card." So the blue players kind of get a reputation for being the arbiters of fun. We've got this big Embermore Hellion, 3 mana or 5 mana, 3 and 2 red. Got Trample. There we go. Trample, so he goes through the other creatures and hits the defending player. If another red source, so not this guy, but another red source would deal damage, it deals that much damage +1. So if you've got a creature that deals, you can, say if you've got a creature that has 3 attack, it will do 4 damage instead of 3. If you've got one that can deal 1 damage when it enters the battlefield, say when this creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to all opponents, then that opponent would take 2 damage. So that's a nice little buff. So if you're running a red deck, quite a nice little fun thing. There's someone that can destroy an artifact or enchantment. Quite useful. This guy, when he comes in, you can return a creature to its owner's hand. Nantuko Husk is quite a well-known card. It's quite a good one. You can sacrifice a creature to pump it up. That's quite nice, because if you're running a lot of token creatures, like lots of cheap throwaway things, or things that have benefits when they die, which a lot of black creatures either have effects that trigger when they die, or they have effects or ways for them to return from the graveyard back to the battlefield, and maybe they're not very strong creatures, but you can kill them off to pump this guy up when he's attacking and do a lot of damage. Okay, and that's our cards. So we can buy more if we want. We could buy 2 more boosters. Looks like it's not actually any cheaper to buy them in bulk. It's purely a case of saving you a bit of time. So here you go. So here's a mythic rare, Liliana. This is one of the planeswalkers. So she's a creature, and whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you remove this creature, you exile this creature, and return her as a planeswalker. And we'll talk about those when we encounter them. But there we go. Head into battle mode. Well, we could battle with our decks, but we carry on with the story for now. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Wait, do we? Oh, maybe we have to head into battle mode first. Looks like we can't actually unlock the other ones until we head into battle mode. So let's head into battle mode, where you can put the decks you create to the test. Solo battle, versus battle gets us play against other players, and it's got two-headed giant, which is quite a fun mode where you play two players play their decks simultaneously against another two players. Okay, let's go to my decks, and we can create a deck, step by step, or total control. Well, we're not new to Magic, so we can go to the deck builder. Welcome to the deck builder. Okay. Okay, so basically we've got anything, and I think we can. What does this do? Okay, so this is our filter, so we can kind of pick whatever we want here. Whee! So there's our white cards. There's our blue cards. Can we look at maybe look at rarity? So let's see what rares and mythic rares we've got maybe. Here we go. So we've got some nice jewel lands. We've got, looks like one jewel land of each colour. I used to have some root-bound crags. Nice nice art on that one. Okay, so we've got 3 rare creatures. So we've got 2 red ones. So maybe we should make a red deck, just so we can play these big creatures. So let's pop these in, and then we can have a think about. We could play a red-green or a red-white, or even a red-blue or red-black. We've got all the options basically. In fact, that is one of every type, one of every combination. But we do have this blue creature, but I don't know whether we necessarily want to do that. Maybe we can just make a simple red. Is a great way of having nice cheap. Red's very traditional of having this deck, kind of called red deck wins, is how they often refer to it, which is just cheap, efficient, hit them in the face cards. It's kind of your face hunter equivalent, comparing to Hearthstone. Goblin Arsonist is a nice standard. This guy gets buffed up when a creature comes in. We put these guys in. Can we just click them? See what else we got. Ember Hauler you can sacrifice. Kind of make a goblin-y deck. Do we have any goblin lords type things that benefit from having big? This guy you can sacrifice artifacts. Maybe we should allow colorless as well, because there might be some useful things. Perilous Mirror, kind of a nice one. Deals 2 damage to a creature or player when it dies. Bottle Gnomes, I remember Bottle Gnomes. Juggernaut, it's a 5/3, that's okay. Strider Harness, that's quite nice. +1/+1 and haste. Once you've got it in, could be quite useful. Yeah, so it looks like we've got unlimited lands at least. Into the Maw of Hell. Look at that. 13 damage to target creature. So it has to be on a creature, but you can blow anything up. This guy, you can blow him up to deal 4 damage to a creature. That's okay. This Barrage Ogre is alright. Traitorous Instinct's quite nice because you can steal a creature off the opponent. I mean, we've not got the very good cards, so let's put some of these in. We can kind of just pump things in. This guy gets +2/+0 and trample, so maybe we should consider throwing in some artifacts. We've got lots of, so we could put this equipment in, and then we can put in things that get buffed up by maybe we put this guy in and be kind of a little bit more aggressive. So we've got this Scrapyard Mongrel that gets trample. So we play the Strider Harness and then attach it to the Mongrel, and we get a 6/4 with haste and trample. That'll be pretty potent. It's not a combo that's going to see competitive play maybe, but hey, you know, you do what you can. Inferno Fist. Want to fist some creatures? Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. That's kind of, this is just like a slightly better version of this guy. Oh wait, hang on, we didn't actually have, we only had that one that we got out of a pack. So Inferno Fist, kind of nice, gives a creature +2/+0 and you can sacrifice it to blow something up. That's okay, we'll put a couple of those in. Twin Bolt, kind of nice. This guy, when he's enchanted, you can pump him up. Do we actually have any enchantments though? Well, I guess we have the Inferno Fist. So maybe we could put these in, put the flaring Flamekin in. This guy gets bigger when we control a forest. That's quite fun. What did we put? Did we put in any? Let's put in these Goblin Arsonists. And kind of just be aggressive, I guess. 35. Should we go up to 40 maybe? And then put 20 lands in. That's a nice standard start. Actually, maybe we should go up to 38. So if we put 3 of something else, then we could put in this artifacts. We could put in Juggernaut as a good way to kind of finish off an opponent. Or we could put this Veteran Sidearm in. There we go, that could be our kind of big finisher. And then we can kind of just put red land in because we don't really need anything else. So we can just put... Oh, here we go. Look at that, great. We click all our way up to... We want 22. There we go, and there's our 60 card deck. It's not particularly exciting. But, right, I think... Kind of look at our mana curve. Our mana curve's okay. Maybe too many 4 drops versus 3 drops. Have a little peek. We got these 10 4 drops, but all we've got on 3 are these 2. Are there any other good 3 drops? Bottle Gnomes isn't very good, really. I don't think. We don't really have too many options on 3 drops. So I think we'll just stick with this for now and see how it goes. Right, now do we just go back to my decks? Save changes. Oh, lovely, and we get to edit our deck. No. Do we need to... Don't know if there's a way we can... No. Do we have to auto-complete? I don't know. I don't know what our... Maybe we can just go back. Okay, we've got a deck. I don't know how we name it. Maybe we missed out on that. So we can solo battle with our deck. We've got deck. We have to play against an easy opponent, so let's do that. Oh, look at this. Sort of bloody-eyed elf lady. She looks quite morose, really. Okay. Boom. Opponent. A good name. Okay, so this is our mulligan phase. We've got a decent number of land. We've got lots of high cost cards. So in fact, the way this one works is we get to draw 7 cards. So often in competitive mode, maybe they've changed this since I last played, but you never got a free 7 card mulligan. You immediately went down to 6 if you got rid of your hand. But we get a free one. I think we'll take it. I think we'll take our free one because this stuff's all a bit expensive. This is the cheapest thing we have. Okay, well. See, now we've only got 1 mana. So the risk here is we could play this. But the thing is, even if we only get 1 mana, we can play 2 of our cards. And I think we'll draw another. It's very risky to keep one land, but it's an easy opponent. And the risk is you start falling into a pattern. When you only draw 6 cards, or now I've only got, now I've got 4 lands. Is that too many and no creatures? So let's keep it. It's a bit of a risk, but we love to take a risk. They're playing a tap land. So this one always enters the battlefield tapped, so it's like a worse version of the ones we were looking at. And you can see it's only a common. It's not a rare like those other ones. Okay, so we'll play our dude. And we'll play this guy that gets buffed, because then next turn we can play the arsonist. Okay, fantastic. And that's the end of our turn. And now it's the opponent. Look at this. Oh, they're playing like a green, white and black. It's interesting. So you can see the colours here on the back of the card. So the traditional circle is you have the allies next to each other and the enemies across. So white's allies are green and blue, and its enemies are red and black. Now this isn't always the case. So quite often you will see a deck that will use like 3 colours from next to each other. But there have been some sets where they use 2 allied colours in the enemy, which it looks like we've got here. We've got the green and white, and then the black, which is normally the enemy of green and white. But not here, not today. Okay, right, so we play our Goblin Arsonist. This guy gets +1. Bonk. We attack with him. Crack. Hit you in the face for 2. So we're just gonna be kind of a bit of a face deck. I don't know that we'll play too many times with this deck, but it's nice to play around with the deck builder and see what we can make. Okay, lots of mana coming out here. All these tap lands gives you a lot of variety of what they can play. Oh, there we go. There's our second land. Now we've got options here. We could play this Perilous Mirror, but it's not particularly helpful right now. I think there's nothing to deal 2 damage to. We might as well play this one that lets us buff up our creature again. And we can attack with both our creatures. Crack. That's fantastic. Get down to 15. Very slow start from the opponent, which is good for us. Golgari Guildgate, so there's the final one of the trio. Yeva's Force Mage. So when it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2. Now he's going to have to buff one of ours because it doesn't say opponent. And it doesn't say may. Sometimes cards will say may get. Or you may have target creature. So he has to do this, but it's only till end of turn. So he'll buff one of our creatures, I think. Or in fact, he can probably do it on himself, because it doesn't say he can't target himself. Okay. So we've got this Flamekins. We can't actually play those. We've got the Twin Bolt. Now the Twin Bolt could kill this thing. So we might just do that, because keep stuff out of the way. This is only when it enters the battlefield. So he'll only get the +2 effect, or the +1 effect, if we play a creature. We could play another Foundry Street Denizen, or we could play Twin Bolt and deal with this creature. And I think we'll play the Twin Bolt. For each opponent, you may only choose that opponent. Oh, I see. The cancel was for that. That was just... So we pick this, and then we pick this again, and it's going to zap. There we go, and we've killed it. Which is kind of harsh, but then we attack with all. Deal another 3 damage. Just kind of keep the creatures on that side of the board down, so it's hard for them. As soon as they start building stuff up, looks like this might be an elf deck here. Oh, there's a Griffin, Razorfoot Griffin. It's got first strike. It's actually quite a dangerous one. But thankfully, we've got some pretty nifty cards. Okay, right, great. We can continue with that. creatures that have first strike deal combat damage. Yep, okay. We remember that. And there's another land. That's good. Good to have. Let's play this Flaring Flamekin. Boom. Now, if we attack and get blocked here, our thing will die for free, but we're playing an aggressive deck. So, we're going to attack with all. He'll probably block one. I expect he'll probably block this, in fact, because it's the safest one. The first strike means that it dies and this thing doesn't. But that's okay. We're going to try and push through for damage here. We've got the Juggernaut as a potential big creature to kind of scare off. Oh, he's attacking, but he's got lots of mana untapped. Still talking about first strike. It's nice, it gives you all these tips over and over. It's quite easy to get rid of them quickly. But it's nice to know all these things, just in case something happens. So we'd love here another Twin Bolt maybe. Nope, no Twin Bolt. Well, not to worry. We could play our Juggernaut, which is capable of dealing with these guys. Now I kind of don't want to attack with our 2/2 because, well, it will die for free to this. But we'll attack with these two, and one of them will get blocked. But it's okay because we can push the damage through anyway because we're a Goblin Arsonist. So this guy's going to die, but we still deal the damage to this lady over here. So she still takes the 1 damage. We do lose the creature. But we're pushing through. We want to get to the point where they can't really deal with how much we've got. We've got this Perilous Mirror as well as another way to deal a good chunk of damage. There's some quite scary creatures coming in now. This one we can't block because... In fact, we can block because we have an artifact creature, but he will always attack. So we can't stop this guy from attacking, so... I would love to see an enchantment here. This guy's pretty solid. He buffs up a creature. It's quite a nice card, really. Man, I'd love some better cards. I think he's probably going to attack us here, right? No? No, see, he can't really attack. He's very scared of what we've got. Okay, well, I think we're going to just keep getting stuff out on the board here. Well, our 5/3 is going to attack. And it'll be able to kill 2 of the creatures. You see, it attacks like there's no way for us to stop it attacking. Now I might block this as well. So if he blocks with the first strike, or if he uses both first strike creatures on this, then it will die without killing them. But if it does that, then we can trade with whichever one blocks our 1/1. Now he might not just not block the 1/1 because it's not that dangerous. I'm interested to learn how the AI behaves. Okay, so you see he's blocked with the Razorfoot Griffin and the Razorfoot Griffin. So these guys will be able to kill this guy, and it doesn't matter what order we deal damage because they'll deal it first. This guy, see, he's taken 1 damage, and we can deal 1 damage. Now we could deal it to the player again, but if we deal it to this guy, he'll die. There we go. Now we just want an enchantment so we can start pumping up our Flaring Flamekin. Okay, now we've got options here. We can block this creature, and when it dies, have it deal 2 damage to this. I really want to get rid of these first strike guys. So we'll block. We can block this guy because it's an artifact creature. So because we're an artifact, we can get past the intimidate because it can be blocked by artifact creatures. So we confirm block, and this guy will die. So the first strike hits us, then this guy dies, and we deal 2 damage to you. Boosh! Get rid of you. Okay, now the reason that is important is it means if we buff up one of these guys with an enchantment, and he'll have 4 health, the first strike damage won't be enough to kill him. Traitorous Instinct. Well, that's ideal. In fact, that's not quite enough. But, or maybe that. So we Traitorous Instinct. Boom. We can steal this flyer, which he can't deal with. Although this thing does Intimidate, and it can't be blocked. Because it has, he doesn't have a way of blocking it. So I think maybe we just push through with 3 damage. That would make more sense. So you see we've got this 5-2 and it's got Intimidate. Then we attack with that. And we might as well push through with these because he'll only be able to block one of them. We can deal 7 damage and we'll be on the brink of victory. That's pretty good. Fantastic. Oh, the Gravedigger. Now all we need is a creature that can poke 1 damage over the line, so our artifact creatures would be able to, our little goblin arsonists could do it, or he's return the Yev's Force Mage, so we don't get too heavily combo-womboed here. He's going to attack with. He's leaving 2 creatures back to block, that's very safe. We can't deal with any of them because these 2 have Intimidate and this one has Flying. Our Mountain, that's no good. In fact, that's slightly upsetting. So just as a note, lands aren't coloured. This is not a red permanent for the sake of Boundary Street Denizen. In fact, it says red creature, but these aren't red, these are colourless. So anything that talks about red permanents or red spells, this is not red. It's also not a spell. So, this is rough actually. We might die here. We've got too much coming in against us. Man, if only we had an enchantment. Well, I guess we'll attack. But, unless he just lets it through. Unfortunately, looks like that's the end for us. Which is quite sad, really. We were doing okay. But again, as I said, I don't think this deck's the strongest around. Kind of does its stuff. And there we go. Sad times. We were defeated. Aww. Okay. This is for you. That's nice. Okay, we're making progress towards it. Right, okay. Congratulations, you've constructed your own deck and taken on powerful planeswalkers. If you need more help, Help in Auctions has a useful amount of information. New quests every day. Look at these, we've got some quests. As a community, complete the final Duel in Chandra's campaign 5 or 50,000 times, or we've done that. Looks like. So I guess maybe we'll just get 40 gold. I wonder if we have to do it as well. We've got 8 hours to do it. Win 4 duels with a black, blue or black, red deck. 4 duels with a blue-red or green-blue deck. And then this is our other one, this choose your opponent as the target of 15 spells or abilities. Great. Okay. Well, I guess maybe we'll go down Chandra's path because we have a quest for it. Although I don't know if we'll get it done in the 8 hours because I don't know if I'll have time to play through the whole quest by then. But either way, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We'll probably jump back into story mode next time. But if you've had a good time, be sure to bop that like button, drop me a comment, let me know what you'd like to see me do sort of going forward from here with this series, and subscribe to the channel for more. So thanks very much for watching. I've been Ken and I will catch you next time. Cheers!